Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe podcast. This is your host, Tim. Gugabe, how are you doing?
Good day, mate. How's it going? Not too bad. Ticking along. Decent week. Yeah, all good.
Cool. Well, we'll just get right to it. Let's we can recap just a few. It was a 15 fight card last week. We can recap a few that maybe we had some interest in and that played out interestingly. Maybe just 4 fights on that card, and then we'll jump into Brunson and Shabazian. Going from a 15 fight card to an 11 fight card, much different. But let's start with my favorite fighter, Mike Grundy and Evloev. It kind of just I kind of just expected that. I just thought I pretty much saw it as I didn't see where Grundy's offense would really come unless if he got a finish, which he was pretty close to that Darce. I rewatched it. Evloev did a good job defending though, by using his free leg to get his laced leg free. But yeah, then I kind of just expected Evloev to be like the better striker.
Yeah, Grundy's kind of in the fish gold mold where like he's reasonably athletic and all that, but he kind of lacks the UFC skill set, I guess.
He's got a good double leg for sure.
Yeah, but even then, like once he gets tired of it, it's like he's got like a round and a half of UFC competition. He gets tired of it, and there just isn't much there.
Yeah, it's just like he can do that. It's just double legs and laying in guard to hold people down. It's just kind of there's enough guys at featherweight who know how to scramble back up, you know? Like even if you just look at Narimani versus Dawson, like Dawson actually has ways to hold you down. Like he'll put body triangles in and things like that. So
Yeah, and also just like the cardio of holding someone in guard, it's just a poor balance unless you have unlimited cardio, which it doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah, if he was a heavyweight, obviously that'd be like a championship skill set. But since it's featherweight, nah. Evloev looks pretty good. Should keep coming up a bit more. Yeah,
He does everything pretty well. Evloev he can probably hover around that top 10, right?
I think he has gonna have physicality issues. Kind of small. That's my main concern.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like if heavyweight just has a bunch of sort of like Burgos or something would just be like twice the size of him.
Yeah, some real good striker could probably give him issues, you know?
I just think size.
Sure.
Featherweight just strikes me as a bunch of very big featherweights, and I just think he struggles a bit with it. Like even against Grundy, he kind of struggled for the first 3 minutes. And like guys
Yeah.
like Emmett or Burgos will just probably be just too big or too athletic. But
See,
yeah, like he could.
the thing is,
Allen would be a decent fight.
I didn't see those first few minutes as like struggling. It's just when Grundy shoots like multiple blast doubles as hard as he can, I think Evloev's in the right to be like, okay, you're gonna gas yourself out. Like I don't know. It's just I don't think like most featherweights will really do something like that. I do think at some point he'll probably run into just
Decent
kind of
fighter.
some. Yeah, I would have liked to see him like and that's kind of the reason I picked him is I just thought it would have
Philly or
been
Mitchell
fun.
next me.
But
Interesting for him. Like he was like slowly crept up. He probably a decent bet against Mitchell.
I think he would beat Mitchell.
Yeah, it's only against Mitchell.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Mitchell grappler right now. It's like it wasn't. Grappling and Herbert's fun. Herbert, honestly, his get ups looked pretty good. They were okay on the regionals, but that's the regionals, so you know I didn't put too much stock into that in tape. There's a few unknowns here. I think Herbert like did pretty decently. I thought I ended up staying away from this fight, and I tossed like a small like $50 on Trinaldo plus 800 after round two. I have no idea what that line was. I saw it as 1-1, and it's like I didn't. I just thought that round two was more Herbert got a knockdown to a body triangle. Like I didn't see it as like he was just beating the shit out of Trinaldo. It was just kind of like he got a big moment and then a good position. And Trinaldo almost turned in and reversed it a few times, you know? And then whenever I saw that line, I was just like, I mean, a Trinaldo takedown could win it. They seem pretty competitive on the feet. Trinaldo could just kill him, you know, things like that.
Yeah, kind of my view. Like, Herbert impressed me a bit. Trinaldo seemed a bit flat. Herbert I think his chin just kind of gives him issues, and like it's just grappling. Like his get-ups are better, but I feel like if somebody really dedicatedly can go after him with cardio,
Yeah.
they'd be able to hold him down. Yeah, Herbert impressed me a little bit. I just still don't think he's going to stick around the UFC. He's fairly old, and I just feel like Clay Guida or something just beats him by just refusing to stop trying to wrestle him.
Yeah. It was a fun fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a good fight, but I think I think the way I saw it was like Trinaldo was like 20% worse than he usually would be, and Herbert was like 20% better than I thought he would be off tape. I think the line was probably about right at minus 150. The closing line was stupid. Like the way I see it.
It's like it's funny. Like I've seen people have like kind of different opinions on who they thought was kind of the value side, and I don't know. It's just that I feel like Trinaldo getting takedowns in top time is generally more likely. Because Herbert's was really just from a body triangle. So and then on the feet, it seemed pretty close. Like the distance strikes, I think Trinaldo might have outlanded. It was pretty competitive. I think I had seen Trinaldo outlanded him.
I think distance is about even. Also, the way I see it, I think Trinaldo round one is pretty much always going to be his round, just based off the clinch takedowns. Like Trinaldo
Yeah.
seemed to be aware of them, and went straight for them.
Yeah.
And standing, like Herbert's kind of fragile. Like Trinaldo classically has had a better chin than Herbert, so I just feel like they're both pretty large for landing nuke on each other. I think the minutes went too. I think the striking minutes went too far off. Like round three, Trinaldo was winning the round before the knockout.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because like the way I saw it is that live line, it was like, it was 1-1, and I understood like Herbert won the second round. I just didn't see it as like a gradual him taking over. I saw it as like he got a position, and then Trinaldo looked like he was still there, you know? And then in round three, Trinaldo, before that knockout landed, I think he was up on the distance strikes like 10-3. So he was up in that third round. So but did I see somewhere Herbert got a 10-8 round in round two? Did Trinaldo get the first round? I don't know what the score was.
Trinaldo got the first round every card. Herbert got 2 10-9s and 1 10-8. Honestly, as a 10-8, that's kind of soft.
So round three was going to be the decider.
Yeah, like the 10-8 wouldn't matter unless round three was somehow split.
Weird scoring happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I saw it. Like I thought it was pretty competitive, and I would probably favor Trinaldo going forward, but it was a close fight.
I also feel like as a Herbert back, you kind of got fortunate in Ronaldo's condition and Herbert's condition. Like, you're staring into chaos. Just because you got like a better side of that chaos doesn't mean you weren't fundamentally staring into chaos pre-fight.
Yeah.
That's kind of my view.
Yeah. Like I don't have strong opinions either way. I thought it was a fun fight. And I was kind of happy for Trinaldo. And what did you think of the stoppage? I know there's a lot of controversy there.
Yeah, obviously, like Herbert was dead.
Yeah.
Like Trinaldo, Herbert was not moving, improving. He was fucked.
Yeah. Honestly, I know we're not talking about the fight, but I thought because Herb Dean fucked up on the Bozer stoppage too, and I thought that one was like honest. I know this one looked worse because Herbert was dead, and I thought it was a really bad stoppage by Herb Dean. But the Bozer one, like Pessoa went down, covering his head and turtled up, and Bozer landed 13 unanswered strikes. Like I counted it, and yeah, I just don't. And then Herb Dean kind of like put up a video defending himself, and it's just like I don't know. Like I don't have problems with because he refs so many fights. He's going to have more bad stoppages. Just because if you're reffing 100 fights in a few months and someone else is reffing 10, you're going to have more fuck ups. But So it's like reasonable you're going to fuck up, but I feel like you should take a little more accountability, but it is what it is. It's just shit happens, you know?
Yeah, the Bose one was kind of weird because I thought it was an eye poke or something, just initially.
True. Yeah.
Like the way he moved back, like it wasn't really like it was a weird knockout. Like, yeah, obviously when he was limped by the cage, it was very bad. But like the original, like hurting him just looked like an eye poke.
Yeah. But still 14 unanswered. It was pretty obvious, like 3 to 4 in. He was done, you know? The initial shot, I agree, was kind of what just happened type of thing.
Yeah, well, Esparza Rodriguez.
The shit show. Yeah, go on. Esparza Rodriguez, go ahead.
I'm kind of annoyed I didn't play my initial lane for Esparza because the way I saw it was like Esparza could have a legitimate minus 300 win condition, and she showed that win condition. Like she almost threw it away with the stupid ankle locks, but like semi-intelligent Esparza takes that fight at minus 300. Like she just can take her down again and again and again.
Yeah, I was really torn on this fight because a lot of people were focusing on the takedowns, but I just saw it as Carla was going to land takedowns over 15 minutes. She just always does. She attempts a lot. And I thought that was kind of obvious, but it was really what was going to happen once on the mat. And as far as did a little better, like I was like, I had no strong opinions going in. I thought it was razor close, and the line value is probably on Esparza, but I think she performed my expectations a little more. As far as like what she would do on top by just kind of landing some ground and pound and holding top position. But I think some stat that I read, and it kind of was giving me a little more confidence Esparza just like in the lead up to the fight, was that I think only like one person has landed more than 50 significant strikes on Esparza ever, and that was JJ. So she just limits strikes well. Like she stays out of range, lands her takedowns, and that was a thing where I thought maybe Marina wouldn't be able to land a ton of unanswered shots on the feet. Like she had her moments, but it wasn't like a complete Aguilar Rodriguez type of beating, you know?
Yeah, my concern was just the Waterson fight with like Esparza's wrestling willingness. Like I understand what Waterson was playing more evasive, but I was just after seeing that I was like, does Esparza suddenly think he's a kickboxer? Because if she did think he was a kickboxer, that was going to be a very, very ugly fight.
Yeah, but the thing is, she attempted 10 takedowns against Waterson. Waterson was moving really well in that fight with her footwork. Like she's very lateral, and Marina just kind of comes at you in a straight line. And I was like, Marina's going to get fucking double legged whenever I was watching that tape, where I feel like Waterson, because I played Esparza versus Waterson, and I misread that as far as the takedowns being there, just because Waterson was moving so well. So the takedowns just weren't really there because she was moving so laterally. Where Marina just kind of, she's very come forward, you know, and that's just going to open you up against Esparza.
Yeah, fair. I just had this sort of gut feeling after the Woodson fight. No, no.
Yeah.
I ended up making a little bit because I had some plus 150 Esparza just randomly on the count. I was like, oh, that's nice, but like no significant action.
Yeah. We'll talk about two more fights. Verdum Gustafsson. It was funny in my like breakdown. I was kind of just like saying, "Do not play Gustafsson at this price," and I kind of regret not playing Verdum a little bit. Easy to say in hindsight, but one of my buddies who always asks me for bets on every fight, even though I tell him not to play most of them, he just wants action on everything. He was like, gun to your head, what do you think's going to happen? I was like, Verdum's going to get his back. Just sub him, I feel. Verdum kind of just has unconventional type of takedowns, you know, like he'll shoot a single leg, fail, get a hold of you, roll to a leg lock, do dumb shit. He did that versus Volkov as well. But what do you think?
Yeah, even here, like Gustafsson stuffed the first takedown pretty well and just kind of got chained on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Going for the back mount armbar pissed me off, but he ended up getting it. But just like I hate the back armbar. Like if anybody's gonna do it, Verdum's allowed to do it, but still, just don't go for the fucking back armbar, you idiot. It's such a low percentage sub.
It lost Verdum the fight versus Olenek going for the back armbar.
Did he lose a fight against Volkov in the same thing? Oh, not lose a fight, but I could have sworn he had like a decent spot. So I don't know. It's been a while.
Can't totally remember.
Wordome just hit his win condition. Like I had some sub one and submission because I was just like, Wordome's probably got 5 minutes of cardio in him, but that 5 minutes of cardio is enough to get submission. Like
Yeah.
I think people underestimate exactly how good a grappler Wordome is.
Oh yeah, he's really good. Gustafsson, when he gets actually taken down, I just don't trust him much.
He just makes weird. He's like a Gastelum where like he's trying to get up, he tries to get up too much.
Yeah.
Like certain guys just have this mindset where it's like they have to get up, and like sometimes if you're just willing to concede being beneath a guy and don't take any risks, you can just survive.
Yeah, he relies on just kind of exploding out, and it opens him up, to just jujitsu positions with people who actually are pretty good jujitsu submission grapplers.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm not gonna say I made decent money off this, but I'm not gonna say it was like a massive like AP play because I could just see if Wordome hadn't gotten that takedown, we could have just had the very sad fight of Wordome getting smacked for 15 minutes.
Easily could have happened. No, I hear you. The line was still kind of crazy, but
yeah, I want Wordome Mirror or something like that. Like I don't know, just crazy grappling fights. Wordome Mirror would be good. What else? Who else is thinking? Wordome Barnett. I think that's happened. But yeah, just throw Wordome with other grapplers. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. And then Whittaker Till. I thought Whittaker probably edged 3 rounds. They both landed some knockdowns and some cuts happened, so it kind of made the scoring pretty close, So just is what it is, I feel.
I had a power outage during round 2, so honestly I didn't save the last 3.5 rounds, but controversial striking split, it happens.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Like I thought Whittaker was the minute winner. But even he hurt Till. Like he dropped Till round 2. Till landed a cut in round 5, which was kind of just random. It was pretty close, but Whittaker outlanded him by a lot, but Till still competed in the head strike, so it was like it was pretty competitive.
Yeah, again, like the amount of people like I've seen on social media bitching like they got shot when they lost a Till decision and they also like won Volkanovski decision 3 weeks ago, and it's just like it's just a close fight. Stop bitching.
Yeah, that's the thing. And even like Marina and Carla, I still thought that was a close fight. It's like I don't know. It's just there's a lot of close fights. Like some fights are just very close, and they're just kind of decided on just random little split-second moments, and it just depends what the judges are kind of valuing. Where it like robberies happen, but and you'll see like individual rounds scored weird, but most fights are just kind of close, whenever they're split decisions.
Yeah, pretty much. Even when they're not split decisions, there's a bunch of fights just come down to 1 or 2 positions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like as far as I'm concerned, this year we've only seen 1 robbery, which is Zaleski versus Salikov. Everything else has been more or less okay. Like I might disagree with it from a gambling point of view, or personally, but like there's just not much I consider an outright robbery.
I'd have to think about the bad decisions, but there's been some weird rounds occasionally, but yeah.
Oh yeah, there's been plenty of fights where like if you actually look at the decision after the fight, like how the fuck did they like Oliveira versus Griffin? Like they came to the right result, but they came to the right result the absolute wrong way.
Yeah.
Which is just how the fuck.
Yeah, for sure. But moving on to next event, Gutierrez and Durden. I'll let you go first here.
Durden has got much strength of schedule. I do like the fact he's trained with Diego Lima and he's training with Rocco Martin, which because Gutierrez fingers the calf kick. Again, it's not a scientific approach, but just like I feel like if he's in the gym with other guys who calf kick, there's a chance he's not going to get calf kicked. And Gutierrez just
hard too, which could take away the kicks a little bit.
Yeah. So like I think Durden will give it a good shot. I think the strength schedule thing, Gutierrez is pretty good. The line's probably a bit wide, but I do think Gutierrez wins.
Pretty much what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, like Durden like plus 200 is probably more appropriate. It's just like if Durden had actual wins, I'd be more interested. But even like his guys of records, he's just like in this weird. It's like even in American MMA, there's like these weird evolutionary niches where nobody like seems to go and have a real career. So like even if you're looking at people, like there's no like even like 3 degrees of connection, it's all just the same pool of bums. So like this guy's like 10-1, but it's just like 10-1 against the same people. So
pretty much.
yeah, Durden. I think Durden will come out hard. I think he'll give a good shot. Gutierrez can be poor optically. I think Gutierrez will have the I win button to calf kicks. But I think I generally like Gutierrez as a fighter, so I think Gutierrez probably takes a 29-28 kind of decision.
Yeah, I tend to think Gutierrez will win. I do think Durden has kind of the style that could theoretically beat Gutierrez. It's just I don't know how it will look at this level, because Gutierrez is definitely UFC level where I don't know, Durden's kind of like okay wrestling game and get in your face type of stuff will work at the regionals. It's really hard to know if that will work here. So line might be a little wide, but Gutierrez will probably win. Wouldn't shock me for a Durden win upset, but is what it is.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next fight, Valiev and Emmers. I'll go first on this one. I think this is going to be close. I tend to think Emmers is probably the value side because like Valiev's durability is probably a little better, and he probably makes a little bit better decisions in fights. Like I could see Emmers just kind of swinging like he did against Arosa and getting clipped, where Valiev probably won't do something like that. But the thing is, if Valiev doesn't get a finish, I just feel like he doesn't. I don't think either guy can really hold the other down. So it's probably going to come down to the striking. And if Valiev can't get a finish, him winning a striking fight is just I just feel like it's going to be hard for him to pull away because he doesn't land all that many strikes. He doesn't land that many head strikes. And he's also way smaller. He's giving up like a 4-inch height and 6-inch reach advantage to Emmers. So, yeah, like I just think this is going to be pretty close. I'm probably just going to pass because it will probably just be decided on a few exchanges, and I don't like having cash in fights like that. But I think it's kind of Emmers or pass personally. I'm just going to pass.
Yeah, I got Emmers at like plus 160-ish. I just think it's most likely a split decision. I think Emmers has got a bit more upside in terms of judges like height, which is it's stupid, but it is actually a thing. I just think Emmers has got a little more upside to have bigger moments. I just think it's gonna be a close fight. I just trust Emmers to have some bigger moments. I think Emmers is getting too much shit for like his losses so far. Like Arosa's not a terrible loss. Like Arosa, the odds makers hate Arosa for some reason, but he's not
And
bad.
he just got caught, It's just
Yeah, it happens.
yeah.
And against Chikadze, like he did win that card. He did win that fight. Majority made the scorecards.
Yeah, and he outstruck Chikadze from distance, and like a lot of it was whenever he kind of tired Chikadze out. But even before Chikadze got tired, it was really close. The distance striking numbers, and like that in and of itself is pretty impressive. Chikadze's a good striker.
Yeah, pretty much. And like round two turned the big. Yeah, round two just turned the big moments, and it happens.
Yeah, the thing is with I see a lot of people like questioning Emmers' fight IQ for not going for wrestling as much in that fight because you would think that would be the easier path to victory for him. But he went for 6 takedowns and he got 2. But Chikadze kind of is reminding me of that city kickboxing takedown defense where it's functional and he can kind of stop takedowns and scramble back up decently. Like he's not good offensively as a grappler, but he's really improved since his Springer fight a few years back. I don't know. Like I feel like Emmers tried and just couldn't get it going, which is fine. So I didn't see any like terrible fight IQ decisions in that. But it was more so like I do think he was kind of passive, where he could have maybe poured it on a little more, even with the striking once Chikadze tired out. So maybe that was more so the bad IQ I saw from him. But as far as his willingness to grapple, I thought he tried. It didn't work.
Yeah, great. I feel like there's a bunch of people who bet Emmers in his earlier fights as a big favorite and now very mad at him. Like because I didn't bet them, I just don't get. I'm okay with them, but other people might have had different conception of him, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you do get that overreaction sometimes when the sort of high prospect comes in, has some rough things, and then people overreact. Like even Meerschaert had a bit of that.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you lose one or two, you lose one or two coin flips early in your UFC career, and suddenly you're shit. And it's like it's not really the case.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. I think this will probably just be pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me for either guy winning. Spicely and Perez, I haven't taped. I know both guys. What do you think here?
Me first. I like GTD a little bit. The issue is that Spicy's open to the body. Originally I was thinking Spicely maybe because I feel like he'll be busier, but also like Perez because Perez just doesn't do much, like particularly striking, and I think Spicely's a better grappler, or at least a very similar caliber of grappler. But I feel Perez has the offensive upside, I guess, just because I think more likely with Perez like lands body kick and hurts him. But,
Durability upside probably too. Like Perez seems pretty tough.
they're both upset. Like that win fight with Spicy was fucking obscene toughness. I just think that Perez has the offensive output edge. If I could get like a finish no action bet on like Spicy to win the decision and a finish with void at like plus 200 where the current derivative would be, I would take that all day. But like, because I feel like if it goes decision, there's a good chance Spicy wins it because we're busier. Perez just doesn't really do optics, and particularly like Perez. If Perez is going to dominantly win a fight, it's going to be grappling. I think that's open to him.
Yeah,
But
I have to just look into it.
I
just haven't. Like, I know their games. It's just when you tape to see how they match up, you can think differently. Like, so I don't have really strong opinions here.
Spicy has a game. Let's explain. The obvious guys have games. They just seem to exist. They just seem to exist in their opponent's direction. Like I enjoy both their fights.
Even just looking at their grappling and stuff, and just I just remember Spicely was just in a complete brawl against Wynn. He's super hittable, Spicely.
Yeah.
Perez, I don't know. Perez seems a little more like composed and a little more durable, so I probably favor him for that reason. But I don't know. It's just I have to look into it a little more.
I like the GTD because I feel like the sub will be mitigated on both sides, and I think the most likely way it finishes would be Perez kick. It would be a Perez body kick. Where knowing Perez, he'll just club sub just to annoy me.
Yeah, he likes to jump on those chokes. I don't know. I don't have much to say though. Borg and Maness. Borg's game's really tough to deal with. Like he really only loses to good wrestlers who can stop his game. Problem is Maness is a lot bigger, and I haven't seen him really defensively grapple much. The only thing I'm going to keep looking into this. The only thing I really saw, like he seems okay at defensively grappling, but there just wasn't too much to it. But he got pushed up to the cage a little too easy for my liking, and honestly, that's probably enough to make me think Borg will just take him down, especially when Borg is going to be shooting like 15 takedown attempts, So yeah, that's kind of my idea or my opinion on this. Did you look into it?
Vaguely. Let's just look at Maness looks big, but yeah, Borg is pretty consistent with laminating himself to his opponent's nutsack, so most likely laminate.
It's just a tough because I feel like we don't have enough information on how Maness deals with that game, but it's reasonable for Borg to be a decent favorite here just because that's not an easy game to deal with,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like Borg is very consistent doing what he does, and it's just hard to deal with what Borg does. It's like mirror average. It's hard to deal with what they do.
For sure, especially whenever we haven't seen you do it.
Yeah,
I'm kind of looking to see if I can find any more grappling exchanges with Maness. There just wasn't much to it. But Herman and Meerschaert.
I'm on the over 1.5 here.
This seems like a fight you're gonna have thousands of dollars exposed to, so I'll just let you go with this one.
I got the over 1.5 at a good price. Apart from that, nothing. No, over 1.5 opened at like minus 140, and now it's like minus 200. So I bet the price pretty solidly on that. Should be a dumpster fire. I think Herman won't get subbed, which we were playing the over. Herman subbed it for plus 1240. I hadn't looked at them. Like, Meerschaert does get subbed. I just think
yeah,
I
it's
don't
been a
know.
while since Herman's really like gone for subs. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but Meerschaert will invite him to sub him.
Oh, I mean, he'll give up mount on purpose to try to get to try to push you off and roll up on top. That's how Meerschaert gets top position.
I know. I think it's getting a fairly slow-paced kickboxing match. My main concern is that the Meerschaert got knocked out 6 weeks ago. But like, I think Meerschaert should be just a bit busier. Like, yeah, this fight exists. Is this an light heavyweight or a middleweight?
I don't know. I think Herman's the value. Like I don't trust Meerschaert at that price, especially against someone who will like get into a brawl and sort of can kind of anti-grapple, sort of. You know, I don't know.
This isn't Carter Ibagimov.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this is a shit show. I
Like, Ed Herman's wins since 2016, the ghost of Tim Burch, the ghost of Patrick Cummins, and Carter's. Just
yeah.
not an encouraging list. Actually, no, he did that. Belanti Herman was very close for. I don't know. I generally lean Meerschaert to be a little bit busier. Like, I can see the argument for Herman being the value side, but the age is a bit scary.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm not playing it. Like I think
Coward.
it's a fucking shit show. Um,
Coward.
Meerschaert's hard fights are so hard to call just because you know he's actually, if you've bet Meerschaert his whole career, you're up, you know, because he's generally the underdog. But his fights are just no process, and he'll be behind. He's capable of finishing, so that makes it a little harder. And he literally gives up mount so he can get top position, which is insane. So it just makes the fights really weird.
I'm
Um,
annoyed. I'm just annoyed at Meerschaert because I've swung like 30 units on Meerschaert decision in 3 different fights.
yeah,
Meerschaert decision against Win, where he won that, where he got like the late rear naked choke. Anders decision where it was a split, and Holland decision. Like Holland's, I had quite a bit in Holland on Meerschaert decision against Holland at like plus 1,000.
yeah.
So I was just, and like Eric Anders after round 2, Meerschaert was like plus 1,000. Like I've come into decisions for Meerschaert twice now, with a plus 1,000 and play on the split and lost it. So I just traumatized by Meerschaert. I do
Yeah.
love the Shark though. The Shark's great. He's just a fun fighter.
He's fun. He's a little wacky, but he's fun.
What more do you want?
I'll let you take this one. I know you probably have strong opinions. Saenz and Martinez.
I think Saenz probably has value as a minute winner, but might just be very fragile. No, I didn't think he looked that bad against Vera. Like, it was a very small sample, but I remember watching it and think he looked awful. But then I rewatched it, I was like, yeah, he looks a bit clunky, but he's always looked a bit clunky. Martinez just kind of okay. I think Saenz, like, I'm playing a bit of Saenz plus 200 and chucking a little bit of Martinez KO against it, just as a sort of feel thing. Yeah, I just think if it gets the decision, Saenz is very competitive against the decision. And if Martinez is going to justify his price, he's probably going to get the KO. Yeah, just kind of whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of just depends on how Saenz shows up, you know. Like so it kind of makes it hard, but I don't think Martinez is that great, and I do think Saenz can compete with him from a round winning perspective if he's just a decent version of himself. But it's hard to know how he'll show up, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, if Saenz walks up as 90% of Saenz as he has been, like the Vera KO just was a KO, yeah, Saenz is definitely beside plus 220, but Saenz could just look like a corpse. I hope if Saenz loses, it's just a quick knockout because, and it won't just be Saenz clinging on 15 minutes for no reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's my play. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just pretty much take it. And my view was mostly it's not Martinez's decision, which opened at like minus. It opened like minus 180ish. No, I think that not me and Martinez is not a bad play. I think Saenz is very live to win minutes,
yeah.
and I just think Saenz is also very live to just die of a fairly medium shot. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to look into like the grappling a little bit, just to kind of see. I'm gonna look into that to see if I see anything. But that's another fight I kind of just want to take a little deeper dive into. I don't really have strong opinions going in, but Giles and Holland, I'll let you take the lead here.
Holland by round 2 submission after Giles slows down a bit, as is tradition. I got like plus 500 on Holland sub, and like there's an Australian book which opens its own props, and they're always hilariously off. So happy with that. Yeah. I could have sworn it. Oh no, sorry, I pulled the wrong person. I was like looking at Giles. I was looking at Giles's Holland's record, and I was thinking it was Giles's record. I feel like Holland should outlast him, and if Holland is still trying to actually be a proper fighter and using fight IQ like he seemed to be doing against Hernandez, again a very small sample size, so you never know.
Yeah.
But like, if Holland is actually taking the sport seriously and trying to win, he could be fucking good.
I think he's got the better skill set here, but he is kind of an idiot. That's really the way I see it, you know?
Yeah, like if Holland like legitimately takes himself seriously, like I think he's got like top 10 middleweight upside. But like he's gonna do retarded shit. It's just like Masvidal's. It's just one of his Masvidal types who just spends most of his career doing dumb shit, despite being very skilled.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Holland should be favored, but I do think Giles is good enough and Holland is kind of enough of an idiot to where this could be it could even turn into like a split decision, you know?
Yeah, like anything could happen here, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. And I could just see a finish happening randomly too. But
I prefer Holland's cardio.
Back that much sometimes. Like sometimes he's too willing to just lay on his back and just fuck around, you know?
Yeah. I just think there's enough areas Holland has an advantage in that even though Holland won't work those areas, the fight will just meander into those areas and they'll be like, oh wow, I'm better than you here.
Yeah.
That's usually how Holland fight goes. It's like Holland versus Phillips, where he spent like 10 minutes having a striking match with him for no reason. And he's like, oh yeah, I can take him down and sub him.
Yeah.
Like, it's just Holland will do some stupid shit. And I'd rather wait like a round and live bet Holland than like play at minus 200 because it's just too much of a risk of Holland doing dumb shit to play at minus 200.
For sure. This is kind of just another one of those dumpster fire fights, but it's not that like these guys are actually pretty solid, especially Holland, but it's just Holland's kind of an idiot, so that's why it makes it kind of weird. But Brown and Luque, you can go ahead here.
I think we're both on a similar page here. Luque looked fucked against Price. He was losing minutes against Price. And Brown lately has looked very good. Like the mobility stuff works. I don't think Luque is quite as good a pressure fighter as Barberena was. Barberena, I had the southpaw swing to get leg kicks, and also pushed forward a lot. Like Luque's always been quite foot slow.
Yeah.
Luque has absorbed, I think, 550 significant strikes in the last 17 months. So, yeah, like that's a legit stat.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, eventually Brown is like, I think there's a 10 to 8% chance for Luque here where Luque just comes out and looks garbage. Like, I think that there's a good chance. Like, to me, Price, Luque looked like Schnell Pantoja to me. Well, I know where people were like, "Oh, Schnell was fucked against Pantoja." But I feel like after seeing the Askarov fight, you can see how Schnell could have won that fight.
Yeah, I just Luque's just way too hittable, and Brown seems to be improving too, and I do feel like Luque's a bit on the decline. And like you said, he's been hit a lot, and I just don't get why he's this big of a favorite. Like I haven't decided. I was hoping just to trade here. Like I got in on Brown because I feel like money will come in on him, and I was just going to trade out for a small profit instead of playing it. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to play it. I want to look into it a little more, but it's just.
Yeah, I actually agree. Like, yeah, Luque's price, like, Brown's bounced down a little bit a few times, but there has been Luque money in the market. And I'm like, who the fuck wants Luque at minus 200 at this in 2020?
I
Like,
mean,
even if he wins, it's probably going to be carnage.
it's just because, at the worst, you're getting just a high variance shit show, right? Because that's what all of. I mean, Luque versus Barberena. was really fucking close, and he was actually outlanded. He was outlanded by Mike Perry. He was outlanded significantly by Stephen Thompson, and he was even on strikes with Price. And Price is not a guy who lands a lot of strikes in fights and competes in rounds usually. So it's just, yeah, I just don't understand. I really don't understand the line. I'm honestly surprised. I wouldn't even play Luque if he was even.
Yeah.
So I tend to think the value's on Brown. I want to look into it a little more, but I don't know. I feel like Brown just kind of will try to avoid strikes more too. He just won't walk into shit.
I also think once the quant money starts hitting, like Brown has height, reach, striking differential, edges, defense edges. Seems to actually have a game plan, like against Barbarena. Like, look at the way they approach Barbarena.
Yeah.
Luque whipped his dick out, went, "My dick is bigger than yours," and Barbarena said, my dick is bigger than yours," and they just did that for 14 minutes. Brown actually seemed to have a game plan.
Yeah.
And, like, I think that Luque is actually worse equipped to deal with that than Barbarena was. And, like, the Alves fight was kind of meme. Like, that sub in particular was meme, but, like, you could see how dealing with Brown's movement and all that gas Alves very quickly.
Yeah.
I think I favour Luque. Like, I mean, I favour Brown like minus 150-ish. Like, it's still probably gonna be high variance because Luque is very good at creating carnage.
It for sure is. Yeah.
But, like, you got that 10 to 20% chance that Luque just looks like there's. I just think there's 10 to 20% chance Luque just takes like 3 solid hits and dies. Just because eventually you just can't take that much punishment.
Luque is gonna win by hammer fist on the mat while he's in bottom position.
Of course, like that would just be, Brown just needs to have that happen more than once. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I tend to think values on Brown. Like, it's still a striking fight and just kind of a Luque fight too, so it can be a bit nuts. But yeah, I still do. I don't know. I don't. If you would have told me Luque was minus 180, I would have thought that was weird, and that's what he is. So that's kind of strange, but we'll see what happens.
This has been booked. That's, I think, the second time it's been booked this year, and it's like both times we were just immediately like, yeah, Brown should be like evens at worst. So yeah, I'm surprised the line's hanging like this. I think Brown's I'm not gonna say like narrative stuff like trajectory. I do think there's a trajectory argument here. Like, one person seems to have turned over a new leaf and developed fight IQ, and the other person has absorbed 550 strikes in the last year and a half.
No, I think that's reasonable because it's objectively happening too,
And, like, when does Luque ever cover his like favorite line? Like,
yeah,
just going through his career, the last time he like comfortably looked like as big a favorite as he should have been was the first prize fight.
How's Brown's durability on the feet? I don't really care. The Price thing was weird, and it's just a different position, and he probably didn't even see that strike coming, which is a lot different. But has he been like knocked down or anything? I'm just trying to. I feel like it's pretty decent.
From memory, I think he has been wobbled a bit. He has been wobbled before, but I don't think he's like notoriously glass chinned or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just from memory.
Because if he just survives, I kind of expect him to win. He has decent takedown defense. I don't love him on his back. Like, he will kind of play guard and shit, so that's not good. But it's not like Luque forces takedowns a lot, So yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of surprised by the line, but I don't know. We can move to the next fight.
Also, for wiki capping ankle, some people will just say that Randy Brown lost Nico Price and Bilal Muhammad and be like, Luque beat those two people. Clearly, Luque is better. Like, I think you see that kind of meme logic even in the betting markets.
Yeah, it can happen.
When, like, Muhammad Luque was kind of just like a 40-second knockout from memory.
It was just a real quick knockout.
And the first Price fight was Price being garbage, and the second Price fight was embarrassingly close.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Calderwood and Maia. I'm okay with the line just because I do expect Calderwood to land a lot of kicks, so she probably has a high floor. Like, I mean, she's just gonna land a decent amount of strikes in a 3-round fight, and this is likely going to the cards. Maia's probably the better boxer, so I don't like that Maia probably has to win some pretty hard shots to maybe take over, but it's still close enough to where I understand the line and could easily be a split decision, you know?
Yeah, I think Calderwood should be a little bit busier, which
Yeah.
in women's MMA will probably be consistently thing. My
Yeah.
line movement's been pretty strong though. Like she's gone from plus 165 to plus 125 in the last 2 days.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange.
Somebody might know
I think she
something.
can win. I mean, this is probably going to be a really close striking fight, right? And Calderwood doesn't land a ton of head strikes all the time, but I just feel like Calderwood at least has those leg kicks to go to. But yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with her just because she seems to probably have the higher floor.
I
Where,
hit
yeah,
I hit the GTD at minus like 275. One of my books. I don't usually play juice GTDs, but I just think it's a women's fight. It's probably if it's get finished, it's going to need to be a knockout.
yeah,
And I'm happy to fade knockout. Like neither, I don't think either is subbing each other at a particularly high level. Like Calderwood subs have just been either completely outmatched people or a random
yeah,
gut sub over what's the name.
yeah. Maya seems to actually know jujitsu from like a defensive point of view.
Yeah, so like I think the RTD here is pretty KO reliant, and I'll take minus 275 on not KO.
Yeah,
That's just like I don't usually play juice, but I just think it's a pretty obvious space.
yeah. It's kind of it's going to probably be a competitive fight. I don't have much issue with the line. Could see
Yeah,
either winning. Vannata and Green. What do you think here?
it's probably going to be a competitive fight. I don't have much issue with the line. I can see either of these guys winning.
Pretty much. All right, the Valiev Brunson. Um, but yeah, did you watch the first? That was actually a fun first fight.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I forgot how exciting it was.
Yeah, and particularly now Vannata seems to be a lot more relaxed than he was then. I think he could leave more space to Green to win minutes. But also, it's Green. Like, if Vannata does what he did against Medeiros, where he like makes the fight unpleasant to get into, I could see Green just looking at him and refusing to engage. Like,
Yeah,
Green will just decided that he is offended by what Vannata is doing and just start flipping him off and doing Macarena.
yeah. In the first fight, if the point deduction didn't happen, Vannata had it. Um,
He almost finished it, didn't he? From memory, round one.
so he had Green really hurt in round one, and
Yeah,
he kneed him while he was down, like in the follow up to try to finish him. So it kind of let Green off the hook, and then it ended up turning what could have been a finish or potentially a 10-8 round. Hard to know for sure though, but could have. Like I mean, I've seen crazier shit happen. Turn into a 9-9 round because Vannata could have probably landed some more follow-ups, even if he didn't get a finish, which could have turned it into a 10-8, but probably that's complete speculation. Easily could have just been a 10-9 still. Um, and then the next two rounds were kind of close. I feel Vannata was bleeding, and the optics kind of helped Green, but Green was landing his jab a lot. And then in round three, I kind of thought Vannata was winning, and then Green landed a big shot, and literally the last punch of the fight, which like gave him that round and kind of gave it a draw. But I tended to think Vannata was kind of the minute winner a little, but it was close. I mean, their total strikes were close, but I feel like Vannata was moving forward a little more, and he was. I feel like he hits a little harder than Green, and I like his durability a little more. But both guys are pretty tough. But I do feel like if Vannata just kind of went with more kicks, I think he win a little could win it a little comfortably, like could win a couple rounds a little comfortably. But he just kind of swung, you know.
yeah. My surprise here is what is the under being priced like where it is. Like,
Yeah, I was a little I was pretty shocked with that too because I mean both guys got Vannata is very durable though. That's one thing you got to give him credit for. But it's just a lot of big strikes were landing and these guys are pretty high output, so a lot of big strikes can happen. I think playing the fight ends by KO. I don't know what that is, but that would probably be better just because I don't think either of these guys are good enough submission grapplers to sub each other, and they're both pretty good defensively. So, like, I'm not saying I think it's going to finish, but that line kind of seems crazy because they're going to land a lot of shots, you know?
Yeah, ends by KO here is plus 300. I'm on that.
Yeah, that seems a little off to me. Because I mean, it was really close the first time. It's hard to know exactly how often the KOs will happen, though.
Yeah, they should with that last Vannata fight where it just seemed reticent to engage. I don't know, maybe he's gonna play discipline now, but again, I could see Ronaldo just deciding to bite the mouthpiece.
Yeah, could happen. And if he does that, Green might just not do anything either, so you could get fucked. But
yeah, plus 300 worth the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they both feel like they have to avenge their draw from last time, kind of psychology sort of shit. I don't know.
Like, Vannata's durable, but he gets stunned hard and hit hard a lot. Like, even against Frivola, who's not a very good striker, Frivola hurt him. And then Green can be hurt too, you know? And Vannata hits hard. Not like insanely hard, but he's got some pop. But yeah, that's kind of like, I'm honestly okay with Vannata being a slight favorite. I do think if he really went kick heavy here, he has a potential way to kind of change his fighting style and maybe win a little easier. Where Green's just going to do what Green does, you know, like he's just going to kind of throw jabs and use his boxing. Where I feel like Vannata could go kick heavy, but who knows? He might not do it.
Yeah, pretty much. Price is probably about right.
Yeah. Shabazian and Brunson. I know I'll let you just go nuts. Go ahead.
I don't really feel as passionate about I don't think Edmen has shown enough to be this big a favorite, but also I don't think he's shown any massive holes. He's not like a Johnny Walker where it's just obviously this is going to end in one way.
I think he showed enough holes against Stewart for this price to be a little off. Because he got super tired. Sorry, I think we lost connection for a second, but I think back to my point, I think Shabazian showed enough holes, nothing insane, but enough holes against Stewart to make him a little, this price to be kind of off, just because he got tired in the wrestling. He even got taken down at the end of round 3 and kind of turtled up and was tired and getting beat up on. And it's just how good is his cardio if this goes late? We know Brunson can wrestle well. Brunson is 100% takedown defense. So, but like I said, I don't know how good Shabazian is. So many of his fights have ended weird and ended early. The Tavares fight he looked good, but not much had happened until he hurt Tavares. So it's hard because that's only a couple minutes. His jab looked good. He was sliding in and out, controlling distance well, but it still was very quick, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. I think Brunson has shown a bit more ability to win minutes lately. And it's just generally, it's always that volatility thing. It's Brunson is kind of a top 5 gatekeeper, I guess. If Edmen decides to swing to death, I don't think Edmen can be minus 330 against a guy like Brunson in a death swinging match.
Yeah.
And again, watching Edmen Tavares, watching Edmen sort of tempo against Tavares before the knockout, he just seemed kind of medium paced kickboxing. I think Brunson will be fine in that fight. There's a chance he'll get knockout or whatever, but still, I think just be fairly competitive.
Yeah, I just don't know how good his striking will look over 15 minutes. It's can he keep that same level of distance control when he's a little more tired? And the issue is when we've actually seen his fight go past a round, against Stewart, even though he kind of came out of the gate against Stewart doing this, he liked to wrestle. And that path to victory probably isn't there against Brunson. Brunson's never been taken down before. So it's if he doesn't get that quick finish, I don't even know what's going to happen, you know? So that's strange. And Shabazian's been taken down before, and Brunson lands a decent amount of takedowns for a fight. So it's just, if it goes to decision, I wouldn't feel comfortable betting Edmen at this price. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and also my views. I like GTD a little bit, and I like the Brunson a little bit. I just think they're both decent spots, but again, there's a chance Edmen just goes nuts in the first minute and kills them.
Yeah.
Which would be annoying. But like, I think that based off a tempo he showed against Tavares, I don't think Edmen's tempo against better competition will be the same homicidal maniac sort of thing.
Shabazi in round one's plus 125.
Yeah, market does crazy shit. Like Shabazz in KOs evens.
It's just like Edmen might he might justify his line, but he might look like the underdog. I really, there's just like a wide deviation of things that could happen. I really just don't know how good he is. So it's just a weird fight to talk about.
Also, with Brunson's power, I just think like minus 330 is kind of the ceiling against Brunson. Because like Brunson can just kill you. Brunson can knock anybody out at like plus 300.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of my view here. Like even if Edmen is best case scenario, you're probably getting a minus 330. If Edmen is not best case scenario, like Brunson's value.
Yeah.
Like I had a similar logic for noting the Garni Rosenstrike though, but I don't know. So I'm expecting the same thing to happen here.
Yeah. It's
yeah, like
I just want to see the fight play out. I want to see Edmen actually tested because And the thing is, like, I'm not talking shit on. I played him against Bird because I generally liked his wrestling against Stewart, and I was very skeptical of Bird's durability in general. So I played him at even against Bird, and after that fight, I still said I have no idea how good Shabazian is. I was like, I don't even know if I made a good bet just because he landed Travis Brown elbows. So it's not like a thing where I'm being mean towards him. Like, if he turns out to be really good, I'll say it.
Yeah, same here. Like, he's not an Ortega or something where it's like it's obvious this is fucked.
Yeah. Or Johnny Walker too. It's like it's obvious this is fucked.
Like I made quite a bit of money on him. Like Marshman submission against Marshman was like plus 2,000. I was like, Marshman's got a decent chin, so it's a decent chance he just overwhelms him and gets a mainly a naked choke, which he did. And I lost a bit on Tavares, but like Tavares has classically been the guy we used to find out whether people are legitimate. But then he just killed Tavares. Like my hope was Tavares this fight would be kind of this Tavares fight would be this fight, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it would last like 8 minutes, we'd see a bit. Like Tavares usually hangs in there pretty well, and Tavares has a reasonably high output, tough striker. And then that was just a quick knockout, and it's like, all right, so we still don't know anything. Like Edmen could be very good. Again, my prediction for this is going to be Imanari roll by Edmen into a knee lock in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Just because, like I have this my internal gambling sense tells me Edmen wins a very controversial split decision, debuts 2 new skill sets, and a bunch of people who just went fucking 20 units on him because they like him and dislike Brunson will just be like, I got value. And it's like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. I honestly have no problem just saying when I have no idea what's going to happen. I really have no idea. I just don't think we know enough about Edmen. But
yeah, agreed.
I think that's kind of it. I don't think there's really much else to talk about.
I just think logically Brunson should be the side just because like he is the proven variable here and he's plus 250.
And he at least can limit a way we've seen Edmen try to fight to win a decision by his defensive wrestling, and he can at least land a knockout, right?
Yeah, like worst case scenario, like, absolute worst case scenario where Edmen turns out to be the GOAT. Brunson still is live for KO1.
True. Yeah. You're probably right. Edmen's gonna be like losing the exchanges and land a knockout. It's gonna be hilarious.
He's gonna guard pull into. He's gonna jump a flying triangle. Like, he's gonna do something. He's gonna just debut some random skill set which nobody has any tape of. He's gonna like Muay Thai clinch or something, or leg kick heavy, and a bunch of people just be like, "Well, I picked the prospect, so clearly I deserve having this guy just debut some random shit." It's gonna be Volkanovski's guy. He's gonna Volkanovski. That's what he's gonna do. He's just gonna reinvent himself.
Who knows how good he is? I'm excited. I'm excited for the fight. I just want to see how good he is because I really don't know. But I think that's everything. I gotta get going, so we kind of sped through this podcast, but we'll do one for the next card coming up, and good luck on all your bets.
Lewis Atlantic, hooray! Anyway,
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. All right, I'll see you.
Yep,
Have a good
catch
one.
up. Yep, same to you. Bye.